So, all right, if you've had a spiritual awakening or a profound shift in consciousness and you still seem to be oscillating in and out of what seems to be a stable field of peace, or there's turbulence and within that, this is largely due to entity attachments. That is really all it is, right? And entity attachments can be summed up very quickly as basically the attachments to egregores or thought fields. You're looping mind patterns. In the Course in Miracles, it talks about you're way too tolerant of mind wandering. You don't even know when you're doing it, right? And this is when basically you're unconscious and just looping in one of these inorganic egregoric fields that's just like automatic program and running. You've picked it up, you've inherited it, you've been programmed with it, and it's not even like real stuff to worry about. You've like just picked it up and anyhow. But so the thing with these attachments and entities is that it's like a bookmark. Whenever you have something in your field that seems to could bring up certain emotional energies, right? This is like an alarm, right? And then these entities, they cannot actually like implant anything within you in that way, but they can work within your imagination and unhealed aspects within yourself to allow you they give you enough rope to hang yourself. Basically, you give them enough rope to hang yourself with. That's it. If you have unhealed stuff going on within you. And when you're unconscious, this is what goes on. That's why people just, one little thing happens in the morning or whatever, and they're just all day. It's just this looping thing. It just comes up and it's nonstop because they're not even aware of this. They don't even know how to go within and somatically deal with this when it first arises. We used to use the term surfacing. When it surfaces into your field, into your awareness, the sooner the better, then, because the sooner you're conscious of it, the quicker you can deal with it and process your own bullshit, because it really is that, and you seem to have all these opportunities to project and put it off on others, but that's part of the trick. That's part of that's the nature of the beast, if you will. But the attachment lies within the thought systems and these ideas, these fear-based narratives that are influenced within those thought structures, because that's what the inorganic ones, the negative ones, you could say, is the backbone of their whole construct. Really is that fear-based narrative. Oh my, if I don't do this, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And that's how the whole system operates. The world that we live in is banking off of your fear. The fear, what's going to happen if I don't pay my car insurance, if I don't pay taxes, if I don't go to work, if I don't do this, if I don't pay my oh my God, I don't have time, this person, it's all fear-based. And most people are so heavily conditioned with this programming that they're not even aware that that's fear. That acceptable level is ridiculous today, and it's largely running on things that are I don't want to say unimportant, but their importance is manufactured. Their importance is manufactured by those that are profiting from the system. This idea of need, this idea of lack, this idea, that there's not enough abundance on this planet and stuff like that is insane. It's insanity. But all these things at the core are subtly influenced and needed for these egregoric systems to survive and thrive, right? And the sooner and the quicker that more and more people pull from that. Now, I say pull from that. I'm not talking about pull from these systems in that way entirely. There's a huge misconception there. You could be very called to step more into the system, but do so without that fear, without that as the basis. And so then you can operate freely within that and penetrate fully, because you're no longer operating from the fear of that pressure that system tries to maintain. That should make sense. You're operating from the Christic freedom, which is your true nature. So anyhow, yeah, that's why, vigilance and being aware of these attachments when they come up. Because, if you're on the path of forgiveness, the path of transmutation, you're gonna sooner or later, you know, if you're paying attention, you're gonna become aware of a lot of shit looping. You know, it's like, oh, this is the same shit, same shit, same shit. You know, so yeah, it is what it is. You'll pay attention and you'll recognize it and be willing to get to the bottom of it sooner or later and see the lie of it. See the lie of it, because you have to get to the bottom and see the true, the true lie, because you can face it and really, you know, we can manifest these experiences to go through them again and again in that way. But if you don't really get to the core of that, then you're going to just manifest these little looping experiences of that. So, you know, it is what it is. You've got to really see where you've given allegiance to these egregores, where you've made them valid. You've believed that to uphold your little life and your little world. And you know, you gave full credence to that. You worship that, you know, but no more. So that's your choice. That is, you know, that's sovereignty, stepping into sovereignty, because you're not sovereign when you're held captive by these egregores. You are not. And that is the sad fact. A lot of people are unconsciously enslaved. That's what's going on, you know. So we can drop that whole like looking down on people and, you know, oh, they're asleep, and you know, they are manipulated is what it is. Let's call it what it is. They're being heavily manipulated, right? So what are we gonna do, guys? You know, I guess educate. I guess that's why I'm making this video. So educate and share. I love y'all. You know, it's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Got David over here with the sling up there. He's about to. Yeah, I like the dragon. They're friends. He ain't about to sling Mr. Dragon down. But it's gonna be all good. You don't need to fear the dragon. Fear the giant. God's with you. It's all good, y'all. All right, that's it. That's my rant. Peace and love. Love y'all. Bye.